Have you ever felt like you're giving everything in a relationship, but you're not receiving the love and respect you deserve in return? This video is going to open your eyes to the profound truth behind love, connection, and the emotional balance that holds relationships together. Stay with us until the end to discover how you can create lasting intimacy, overcome challenges, and build relationships that thrive on mutual understanding and respect. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I encourage you to click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated on all our latest content. Your support means a lot, so if you find value in this video, please give it a thumbs up to help spread our message. I'm eager to hear your thoughts on today's topic. If you enjoy the content, please comment 1 below. If it doesn't resonate with you, leave a 0. Your feedback is crucial as it helps me create better videos that align with your interests. Now, let's get started. During my long and winding journey across different countries, cultures, and experiences, I had the privilege of meeting a man whose wisdom seemed to transcend time. His presence felt almost ethereal, as if he carried with him the knowledge of countless lifetimes. In a quiet moment, I asked him a question that had been lingering in my heart for years. What is more valuable in life, to love or to be loved? He gazed at me for a moment, as if contemplating the depth of the question. Then, with a serene smile that spoke of endless understanding, he replied, "Both are equally important, like the wings of a bird. Without one, the bird cannot fly." His words resonated deep within me, and I realized in that instant how interconnected these two forces are. Love and being loved are two sides of the same coin, both necessary to create balance in our lives, much like the wings that give us the strength to rise above life's challenges. As I reflected on this, I couldn't help but think about my own imperfections, the mistakes I've made, the moments I've let people down, and the times I've fallen short of my own expectations. I am far from perfect, and I am acutely aware of my flaws. Yet, in spite of all that, I have been blessed with people who choose to stay by my side. These are the people who have seen the worst of me and still believe in the best of me. They know my weaknesses, my fears, and my insecurities, yet they remain. This loyalty is something I don't take lightly. It fills my heart with gratitude because I know how rare it is to find people who stay when things get tough. There's a profound truth in understanding that some problems, if left unresolved, will haunt us throughout our entire lives. I've learned that running from our issues only allows them to follow us, no matter how far we go. To truly break free, we must confront them, heal the wounds, and find closure. Otherwise, we'll carry the same baggage, the same emotional weight, from one relationship to the next, from one phase of life to another. Solitude, when embraced with the right mindset, becomes one of the most powerful tools for personal growth. When you learn to be at peace with yourself, you stop seeking validation from others. You no longer feel the need to chase after love, attention, or approval. You become selective, realizing that not everyone deserves a place in your life. This realization may come with a bittersweet sense of loss, but it also brings a newfound strength. You become less willing to let just anyone disturb the sanctuary you've created within yourself. And with that comes an extraordinary sense of empowerment. Of course, standing apart from the crowd, standing up for your beliefs, and choosing a different path often comes with consequences. I've experienced the sting of being misunderstood, of being judged, and yes, even hated by people who cannot see the world through the same lens. But I've come to realize that this is the cost of staying true to oneself. When you refuse to conform to ignorance or mediocrity, you naturally alienate those who are comfortable in those spaces. It's a heavy price to pay, but one that I am willing to bear, because the alternative, betraying who I am, is far worse. Through all the highs and lows, I've never believed that my journey has been guided by luck. Luck is a fleeting thing, something that comes and goes without warning. No, I believe there's been a higher power, a divine force, guiding me every step of the way. Whether you call it God, the universe, or fate, I feel its presence in every turn my life has taken. It's what gives me the strength to persevere, even when things seem impossible. One of the hardest lessons life has taught me is the pain of losing someone good because of my own mistakes. There's a unique kind of suffering that comes from realizing too late that you've driven someone away who truly cared for you. It's a heartbreak that stays with you, a reminder that no matter how much you try to make things right, some things can never be undone. The person is gone, and all you're left with are the memories and the bitter taste of regret. It's a punishment that life hands out mercilessly, teaching us to be more careful with the hearts of others. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, Please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. As I continue to grow and evolve, I've made the decision to make some significant changes in my life. If you notice my absence, if you find that I am no longer reaching out, it's not out of malice or indifference. It simply means that our paths no longer align. There comes a time when you have to let go of people who no longer bring positivity into your life, and I am finally strong enough to do that. It's a painful process, but a necessary one if I want to keep moving forward. At the end of the day, I've learned that how people treat you is far more important than how much you care for them. Love is not enough to sustain a relationship if respect and kindness are absent. Actions will always speak louder than words, and I've come to value those actions more than ever. I now choose to surround myself with people who uplift me, who support me, and who treat me with the same love and respect that I offer them. Trust is like glass. Once it shatters, no amount of apologies can fully restore it to what it once was. Words, no matter how sincere, can't erase the pain or undo the damage. There's something profoundly heartbreaking about causing tears to fall from the eyes that once sparkled with joy just for you. It's a wound that never truly heals, and perhaps that's the greatest betrayal of all, turning someone's brightest smiles into their deepest sorrows. If there is any sin worse than that, I have yet to discover it. As I reflect on my life, I've come to realize that there are certain types of people I find difficult to tolerate. One of them is the drunk person who becomes unbearable when you're the sober one, trying to make sense of their reckless words and careless actions. But equally frustrating are those who seem almost too serious, too rigid when I'm the one who's let loose, enjoying life in a carefree, intoxicated state. Perhaps it's because both scenarios remind me of how starkly different we can feel from others at certain moments, how much we crave understanding, and how often that desire goes unfulfilled. When life feels overwhelming, and I find myself feeling alone in the vastness of it all, I try to look up at the sky for comfort. The sun, that brilliant and constant force, always shines alone, and yet it never dims. Even in its isolation, it gives light, warmth, and life to the world. That's a powerful lesson for me. Just because we are alone at times, doesn't mean we are any less radiant or capable of giving something meaningful to the world. Solitude, if embraced correctly, can be the very source of our strength. Maturity, I've come to understand, has nothing to do with how many years we've lived or the number of birthdays we've celebrated. It's about how much we've learned from the experiences we've gone through, how deeply we've reflected on our failures, and how much we've grown from our pain. Some people live an entire lifetime and never truly mature, while others, through hardships and introspection, develop a wisdom far beyond their years. In relationships, I've found that the one who is brave enough to apologize first is often the one with the most courage. It takes a lot of strength to admit when you're wrong, to humble yourself before someone you've hurt. But there is an even greater power in forgiveness. The person who can forgive, who can release the anger and the pain, is undoubtedly stronger. However, the one who can forget, truly forget the wrongdoing, is the one who finds peace. That person is the happiest, because they are no longer chained to the past, no longer burdened by what was. They are free to live fully in the present. In my quiet moments of reflection, I think about what the real wonders of the world are. It's not in the grand monuments or breathtaking landscapes that people often chase after. It's in the simple yet profound gifts we often overlook. The ability to see the beauty around us, to hear the laughter of a loved one, to feel the warmth of a hug, to taste the sweetness of a ripe fruit, to experience emotions that make us feel alive, to laugh until our stomachs hurt, and above all, to love and be loved in return. These are the true miracles, the real treasures that make life worth living. As I navigate through life, I try to balance wisdom with a youthful spirit. I aim to think like an adult, with responsibility and foresight, yet live like someone who still has a zest for life. I strive to offer advice like an elder who has seen it all, yet I refuse to stop dreaming with the wide-eyed wonder of a child. Dreams are the fuel that keeps us moving forward, that gives life its magic, and I hope to never lose that sense of possibility. When someone invites you into their heart, when they open up their soul to you, it's one of the most sacred things they can offer. It's an act of vulnerability, of trust, and it's something we should never take lightly. I believe that when someone lets you in like that, it's essential to treat their heart like a sacred space. It's as if you're walking into a temple, and the least you can do is metaphorically take off your shoes, be gentle, be kind, and remember that not every place should be tread upon carelessly. There's a saying that the mind is everything, and I've come to see just how true that is. Our thoughts shape our reality. We become what we believe about ourselves. If you think you are capable, you will achieve great things. But if you doubt yourself, if you let fear and insecurity rule your mind, you'll never reach your full potential. That's why it's so important to be yourself, to stand firm in who you are, even if the world doesn't always approve. Don't change to make others love you, because the right people, the ones who truly matter, will love you for exactly who you are. One of the most beautiful and rare experiences in life is feeling cared for. It's a sensation that transcends words, one that fills you with a sense of safety and warmth. Knowing that someone has your back, that they want the best for you, it's priceless. Yet, in this world, it's easy to get caught up in how others treat us, especially when that treatment is less than kind. But I've learned that the best way to live is not to match people's bad behavior with more bad behavior. Instead, treat them with the kindness and decency that reflects who you are, not who they are. That's where true integrity lies. Never forget that everyone gives what they have. Some people carry love and light within them, and so they share that with the world. Others, burdened by their own pain and darkness, spread negativity. It's a reflection of their inner world, not yours. Somewhere out there, someone is dreaming of having the life you have right now. It's easy to get caught up in what we lack, but we must remember that our lives, with all their imperfections, are a blessing. Be grateful for what you have, and wherever you can, help others to create a better world. Life has a way of working itself out, even when it doesn't seem like it. There were countless times when things didn't go as I had hoped or planned, and in those moments, I felt lost, disappointed, even heartbroken. But now, looking back, I understand why. Life was steering me towards something better, something I couldn't see at the time. And for that, I am eternally grateful. Every detour, every closed door, every failure brought me to where I am today, and now I can finally thank life for all the things that didn't work out, because they led me to something far greater than I could have imagined. Growth is one of the most painful yet rewarding experiences we go through. It's not just about the passing of time or adding more years to your life. It's about the choices you're forced to make along the way. Growing means facing some of the hardest decisions you'll ever make, leaving behind people you thought you'd love forever, but who no longer contribute positively to your life. It means realizing that some of the habits that once brought you comfort are now the chains holding you back. It's about letting go of dreams you swore would make you happy, only to discover that real happiness lies in unexpected places. It's about shedding the past version of yourself to make room for the new, even when every fiber of your being wants to cling to what's familiar. But growth also means strength. Strength to try, fail, and try again. To keep pushing, keep striving, even when everything inside you is screaming to give up. Growth is relentless perseverance. It's continuing on when the world tells you no, when fear starts to whisper in your ear that you'll never make it. But you try again anyway, and you keep trying until the fear is the one backing down, because you've become too strong, too determined for it to stand in your way. I remember someone once asked me why I wanted something so badly, why I was chasing it with such obsession. My answer was simple: because people told me I couldn't. It's funny how the doubt of others can ignite a fire inside you, how every time someone says you'll fail, it only makes you want to succeed more. There's nothing quite like the satisfaction of achieving something that others believed was beyond your reach. Their disbelief becomes your fuel, pushing you to prove them wrong. There are moments in life where you'll question your kindness, where you'll wonder if having a good heart makes you vulnerable or weak. But let me tell you, never regret being kind. Never regret having a heart that gives freely, even when others take advantage of it. The universe has a way of rewarding those who give without expecting anything in return. All the love, kindness, and compassion you pour into the world will come back to you, multiplied. It may not happen right away, but trust me, it will return when you need it most. And when someone tells you, it's nothing, especially when you can see the pain in their eyes, that's when they need you the most. That's when they need you to offer a hug, to be there without asking questions, because often, people don't have the words to describe their hurt. Sometimes, a simple gesture of comfort speaks louder than any words ever could. Weakness is often disguised as cruelty. The worst thing about weak people is that they feel the need to tear others down just to feel strong. They think that by humiliating others, they can somehow prove their worth. But real strength doesn't come from stepping on others. It comes from lifting them up, even when you're struggling yourself. So, don't let the words or actions of weak people bring you down. You're so much closer to your dreams than you realize. The path may seem long and difficult, but every step forward is a step closer to achieving the impossible. I've often been told that I have many flaws, but there's one in particular that stands out. I love too deeply. I don't know how to love halfway. When I give my heart, I give it fully. Some people might see that as a flaw, but I see it as a gift. In a world that teaches us to hold back, to guard our hearts, I choose to love without reservation. And yes, it's led to heartbreak and disappointment, but it's also led to the most profound connections, the kind that make life worth living. Your life is a reflection of the choices you make and the effort you put in. The reality you live is not shaped by your wishes or desires, but by your actions. What you receive from life will always be a direct result of what you put into it. If you want love, give love. If you want success, work for it. If you want happiness, create it. Life is not a passive experience. It's something you actively shape with every decision, every action, every moment of effort. The universe is like a mirror. It reflects back to you the energy you put out. So, if you want to change your life, start by changing what you give to the world. Difficulties are not here to stop you. They're here to push you further. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow stronger, to become more resilient. Don't let obstacles make you doubt yourself. Instead, let them motivate you to dig deeper, to find the strength you didn't know you had. The road ahead might be tough, but that's exactly why it's worth traveling. Keep giving your best, no matter how hard things get, because at the end of it all, you'll look back and be proud of how far you've come. There's a certain kind of love that can't be matched, the love of someone who has cried over the thought of losing you. That kind of love is rare, and when you find it, hold on to it with everything you have. No one will ever love you more deeply than the person who has shed tears for you, who has been afraid to lose you. That kind of love is priceless, and it deserves to be cherished and protected. Surround yourself with people who push you to be better. The power of association is real. When you spend time with people who are driven, who strive for greatness, you can't help but absorb that energy. Surround yourself with winners, and eventually, you'll become one too. Success isn't just about personal effort, it's about the company you keep. The people who challenge you, inspire you, and believe in you will lift you higher than you ever thought possible. The people who matter most to me aren't the ones who live under the same roof. They're the ones who live in my heart. Home isn't a physical space, it's a feeling. It's the people who make you feel safe, loved, and valued. Those are the people who are truly irreplaceable, and they're the ones I carry with me wherever I go, no matter the distance. I like to think of the soul as a flame. Fire doesn't cast a shadow because it is the light. It has the power to illuminate everything around it, to bring warmth and energy, but also to destroy if not handled carefully. In the same way, our souls have the capacity to bring light into the world, but we must protect that inner fire, keep it burning brightly, and never let the darkness consume it. If you are still watching this video, and find these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. As we age, we often hear that life slows down, that our best days are behind us. But I've learned that some things only get better with time. After the age of 50, for instance, intimacy takes on a whole new meaning. It's not just about physical connection anymore. It becomes a source of emotional, psychological, and even spiritual well-being. It enhances your health, strengthens your relationships, and reminds you that age is just a number when it comes to living fully. I don't know how my story will end, but one thing is certain, you'll never read the words, "I gave up," in its pages. No matter how many times life has knocked me down, no matter how many times I've been tempted to quit, I've always found the strength to keep going. Pain is temporary. Exhaustion fades. But the satisfaction of knowing that you gave everything you had to achieve your dreams, that's something that lasts forever. That's the reward that no one can take away from you. So no matter how hard it gets, no matter how far off the finish line seems, I'll keep pushing forward. And when I reach the end, I'll know that I left nothing on the table, that I lived this life to the fullest, with no regrets. When intimacy starts to fade or when a partner refuses physical closeness, it often reveals something much deeper within the relationship that requires careful attention and reflection. Physical intimacy is a vital part of any romantic connection, but it's just one layer. Beneath the surface, there are emotional bonds, shared values, and mutual understanding that must be nurtured continuously for the relationship to thrive. If one partner seems distant or uninterested in intimacy, it may be a sign that these foundational elements need revisiting and strengthening. It's easy to feel hurt or even rejected when intimacy declines, but before focusing on what seems to be lacking, take a step back and think about the overall state of your emotional connection. Have you both been communicating openly and honestly about your needs, concerns, or stresses? Are there unresolved tensions or unspoken issues that might be silently eroding the closeness between you? Intimacy is often more of a reflection of emotional closeness than we realize. When the heart feels distant, the body often follows. Instead of concentrating solely on physical desires, it can be transformative to shift your attention toward rebuilding emotional trust and connection. Relationships thrive when both partners feel seen, heard, and valued for who they are, not just for what they provide physically. Sometimes, partners may pull away because they feel misunderstood or underappreciated in other areas of the relationship. This can manifest as a withdrawal from physical affection, but the root cause is often emotional in nature. Take time to reconnect on a deeper level by engaging in meaningful conversations about what each of you is feeling, what might be causing the disconnect, and how you can work together to rebuild the emotional foundation of your partnership. It's also important to understand that intimacy, for many, goes far beyond the physical act. For some individuals, personal experiences, religious beliefs, or cultural backgrounds significantly influence how they view and engage in intimacy. For example, some religions have specific guidelines or expectations surrounding sexual interactions that may create boundaries for your partner. In other cases, cultural values may place emphasis on modesty or specific roles within the relationship that can shape how one approaches physical closeness. If this is the case, it's crucial to have open, respectful conversations about these beliefs. Understanding where your partner is coming from, what their values are, and how they view intimacy can open the door to finding common ground and creating a relationship that honors both your needs. Sometimes, the issue might not stem from emotions or beliefs, but something as simple and practical as personal hygiene. While it may seem trivial, maintaining good personal hygiene is crucial for both physical and emotional well-being in a relationship. Intimacy often requires feeling clean, comfortable, and confident in one's own body. If hygiene has become a sensitive issue, it's important to address it delicately. It's not about shaming or embarrassing your partner, but about fostering a sense of care and self-respect that can enhance the quality of your relationship. Approach the topic with compassion, suggesting ways both of you can focus on self-care to improve not only physical closeness but also overall well-being. That being said, intimacy issues can sometimes stem from deeper psychological or emotional struggles that your partner may be facing. Mental health plays a huge role in how we experience and express affection. Stress, anxiety, depression, or body image issues can all contribute to a lack of desire for intimacy. Your partner may not even fully understand why they are withdrawing, and it's important to offer support rather than criticism. Encourage an open dialogue about mental health, and if needed, consider seeking professional help to navigate these challenges together. Offering patience, understanding, and support can make a world of difference when one partner is struggling emotionally. Another factor to consider is the stage of life both you and your partner are in. Over time, the dynamics of intimacy naturally evolve. Responsibilities such as work, raising children, or even personal health changes can shift priorities and affect energy levels. It's essential to recognize that intimacy doesn't always look the same throughout a relationship, and that's okay. What's important is finding new ways to connect and maintaining a sense of closeness, even if physical intimacy takes a backseat temporarily. Engage in activities that bring you both joy, create time for each other, and build moments of connection that aren't tied solely to physical affection. Whether it's taking a walk together, having deep conversations, or simply spending quiet time in each other's company, these moments can rebuild the emotional intimacy that physical closeness often stems from. It's also worth noting that intimacy thrives on mutual effort. If one partner feels that they are constantly pursuing while the other withdraws, frustration and resentment can build. Relationships require ongoing investment from both sides, and intimacy is no exception. Be honest with each other about your needs and desires, but also about the challenges you're facing. Sometimes, a lack of intimacy is not about the relationship itself but external pressures, fatigue, or personal struggles that one partner may be grappling with. In these moments, it's crucial to show empathy and to recognize that you are a team. Work through the challenges together, rather than seeing it as a personal rejection. In the end, relationships are a delicate balance of giving and receiving. While physical intimacy is an important part of that balance, it's not the sole marker of a healthy, fulfilling relationship. What sustains a relationship over time is the depth of the emotional connection, the respect you have for each other's individuality, and the ability to communicate openly and honestly about your needs. Building intimacy, both physical and emotional, is an ongoing process that requires trust, patience, and a willingness to grow together through the ups and downs. As we bring this discussion to a close, I encourage you all to reflect on your own relationships and share your thoughts in the comments below. What experiences or insights have you gained in dealing with intimacy challenges? How have you navigated these moments in your relationship? Your stories are valuable, and they contribute to a community of support and learning for others who may be going through similar struggles. Thank you for joining us in this conversation, and we look forward to hearing your thoughts. If you've enjoyed today's video and found the wisdom within to be valuable, we encourage you to like, share, and spread these insights to others who might also find them helpful. Your support means everything to us, and by sharing this knowledge, you help build a community of growth, understanding, and deeper connection. Thank you for being part of this journey with us, and we look forward to continuing this exploration of life's lessons together. See you in the next video. Take care and goodbye. The soul is a powerful force, much like a fire. A fire doesn't cast a shadow because it is the light. It creates, illuminates, and radiates warmth, not by blocking light, but by becoming one with it. The soul, too, has the potential to shine, to illuminate not only your path but the lives of those around you. It's a source of inner strength that, when fully embraced, can guide you through life's most difficult and darkest moments. As we age, especially after 50, intimacy transforms into something even more significant. It becomes about more than just physical satisfaction. It's about emotional, mental, and even spiritual well-being. Engaging in intimate moments with your partner has been shown to not only improve physical health, but also to enhance emotional bonds and promote psychological healing. At this stage in life, intimacy can be a gateway to deeper understanding, and it can strengthen your sense of connection and closeness. The act itself is a reminder that life, even in its later stages, is filled with vitality, passion, and purpose. One thing I know for sure is that no matter how my story unfolds, no matter the challenges I face or the obstacles I encounter, you'll never read that I gave up. Life is full of setbacks, moments of exhaustion, and times when it feels like everything is too much. Pain, frustration, and fatigue are all temporary. They will pass. But the satisfaction, the sheer pride of knowing you didn't quit, that is something that will last forever. The sweat may dry, the pain may fade, and the exhaustion will lift, but the fulfillment of knowing you pushed through and achieved what you set out to do remains a permanent victory. In relationships, when one partner pulls away from physical intimacy, it often signals something much deeper that requires attention. It's easy to focus on the surface issue, on the physical rejection, but intimacy is intertwined with emotional connection. If your partner is withdrawing, it might be time to look at the broader picture. What is going on emotionally? Are there unresolved feelings, unspoken needs, or lingering frustrations? Sometimes, the issue isn't about the physical relationship at all, but rather an emotional distance that has been building quietly in the background. Physical intimacy is undeniably important in a relationship, but it's just one part of a larger whole. Emotional closeness, mutual respect, and open communication are the true foundations of lasting intimacy. If you focus solely on what you're not receiving, you might miss the opportunity to strengthen the emotional bonds that make physical closeness possible. Start by engaging in honest conversations, by listening with empathy, and by making an effort to understand where your partner's coming from. Often, the withdrawal from physical closeness is not about a lack of attraction or desire. It's about feeling disconnected, misunderstood, or unappreciated in the relationship. By working on rebuilding that trust, the intimacy will naturally follow. It's also essential to remember that intimacy isn't just about physical touch. Sometimes, life stresses, cultural or religious values, or even personal insecurities can play a role in how a partner approaches physical closeness. Be mindful of your partner's experiences, beliefs, and emotional needs. There may be factors at play that require deeper understanding and sensitivity. The key is to have these conversations in a respectful, compassionate manner, and to work together to find a balance that honors both your emotional and physical needs. Additionally, it's worth reflecting on the role of self-care and hygiene in a relationship. Sometimes, personal hygiene can impact how comfortable partners feel with one another in intimate moments. This is a delicate subject, and it's important to approach it with care and kindness. Rather than making it about criticism, frame it as part of a larger conversation about self-care, well-being, and the health of your relationship. When both partners feel good about themselves physically, it can significantly enhance the emotional and physical aspects of intimacy. It's important to recognize that relationships are ever evolving, and so is intimacy. As life changes, Whether through aging, stress, personal growth, or new responsibilities, your connection will shift as well. It's natural. Intimacy may not always look the way it did in the beginning of your relationship, but that doesn't mean it's any less meaningful. What matters is that both partners continue to invest in each other emotionally, that you keep the lines of communication open, and that you work together to maintain a sense of closeness and partnership. Sometimes, the most profound form of intimacy comes from simple, everyday moments of connection. Moments where you listen, where you hold space for each other's emotions, or where you support one another through life's challenges. Intimacy isn't just about physical closeness. It's about emotional availability, about showing up for each other even when life gets tough. By nurturing these aspects of your relationship, you lay the groundwork for deeper intimacy in every sense of the word. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. In the end, building a strong and fulfilling relationship requires patience, effort, and commitment from both partners. It's not just about physical needs, it's about emotional connection, mutual respect, and understanding. When you approach your relationship with these values at the forefront, the rewards are immense. Intimacy will naturally grow out of that foundation, and both partners will feel more fulfilled, understood, and cherished. When intimacy in a relationship begins to wane, it's often a sign that there are deeper issues at play. While it can be tempting to focus on the physical aspect, it's crucial to understand that intimacy is about more than just physical closeness. There are emotional, psychological, and even cultural layers that might be influencing your partner's behavior. One important factor to consider is the role of religious or cultural beliefs. These can have a profound impact on how someone views physical intimacy, especially in relationships where certain sexual practices or behaviors may be seen as taboo or restricted by long-held norms. In such cases, it's important not to react with frustration or impatience, but to approach the situation with sensitivity and a genuine desire to understand. Open, respectful dialogue is essential. Ask your partner about their beliefs and how they may be affecting their feelings about intimacy. Don't shy away from discussing these topics, but make sure the conversation is grounded in empathy and respect for their perspective. The goal isn't to change or challenge their values, but to find a way to bridge the gap between your needs and theirs. By doing this, you can build a stronger connection that goes beyond the physical, rooted in mutual respect and understanding. It's also important to recognize that intimacy is a shared experience, and both partners need to feel comfortable and safe within the relationship. Cultural or religious norms might dictate certain boundaries, but that doesn't mean those boundaries can't be discussed and understood. It's about finding a balance that honors both of your needs. Relationships thrive on compromise, and part of that process involves navigating differences in beliefs without letting them become barriers to connection. By having these honest discussions, you can create a space where both partners feel valued, heard, and respected, which ultimately strengthens the emotional and physical aspects of your relationship. Another aspect that often goes unnoticed in discussions about intimacy is personal hygiene. While it might seem like a small detail, hygiene plays a significant role in how partners feel about physical closeness. Good personal hygiene is not only important for health reasons, but it also directly impacts the comfort and confidence both partners feel in their relationship. Feeling clean and fresh can help build self-esteem, which in turn can make intimate moments more enjoyable for both partners. If personal hygiene is an issue that's affecting your intimacy, it's vital to approach the topic with kindness and compassion. Rather than making it seem like a criticism, frame the conversation around self-care and well-being. Let your partner know that it's about ensuring both of you feel your best, both physically and emotionally. Encourage mutual efforts to prioritize hygiene as part of a healthy relationship dynamic. This can be a constructive way to address the issue without causing unnecessary tension or embarrassment. Intimacy is a multifaceted part of a relationship, and addressing any issues surrounding it requires a combination of open communication, empathy, and patience. Sometimes, a partner's refusal of intimacy isn't about the physical act itself, but about feeling disconnected emotionally. When there is a lack of emotional connection, it's difficult for physical closeness to thrive. If your partner is withdrawing, take the time to ask them how they are feeling, not just physically, but emotionally. Are there stresses or unspoken concerns in their life that may be affecting their desire for closeness? By focusing on emotional intimacy, you might find that physical intimacy follows naturally as a result of feeling more connected. One of the most important things to remember is that intimacy in relationships goes beyond physical needs and desires. It's about building trust, creating a safe space for vulnerability and understanding each other's needs. Rather than focusing on what you feel is missing in terms of physical connection, consider what might be lacking emotionally. Are you both making time to truly talk, to listen to each other's concerns, and to support each other in ways that go beyond the bedroom? Intimacy is built on the foundation of emotional security and closeness, and when that foundation is strong, the physical side of the relationship tends to flourish naturally. Moreover, life's external pressures can often weigh heavily on a relationship. Stress from work, family obligations, or personal health issues can significantly impact how we feel about intimacy. Your partner might be going through something that has nothing to do with their feelings toward you, but it's manifesting in a withdrawal from physical closeness. Rather than taking it personally, approach the situation with empathy. Ask them how they're really doing, and offer your support without placing additional pressure on them to be physically intimate before they're ready. It's also worth remembering that as relationships evolve over time, so too does the nature of intimacy. What worked in the early days of your relationship may not be what works now, and that's okay. Relationships are dynamic, ever-changing, and intimacy will naturally ebb and flow. What's important is that you continue to check in with each other, to discuss your needs openly, and to approach any challenges with a mindset of mutual growth. It's important to note that intimacy isn't always about grand gestures or sexual encounters. Sometimes, the most intimate moments come from simply being present with each other, whether it's a quiet evening spent together, holding hands during a walk, or a deep, meaningful conversation. These moments of connection are just as vital as physical intimacy and can often rekindle the closeness that leads to deeper physical affection later on. By investing in the emotional aspect of your relationship, you are laying the groundwork for intimacy in all its forms. As we conclude this discussion, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What are your experiences with navigating intimacy in relationships? Have you found ways to overcome challenges and reconnect with your partner emotionally and physically? Your insights and stories are incredibly valuable, and we encourage you to share them in the comments below. Now that we've shared these insights, we'd love to know, what have you learned from this video so far? Comment below with one thing that stood out to you and how you plan to bring it into practice in your life. We'd love to hear how these lessons will impact your relationships or personal growth. If you found this video helpful, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more powerful content that can transform your life.